Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Panel B podcast. I'm your host, Alex Jankowski. This is take 2 of this episode. The first one, it didn't go too well, but we're back, trying again with Steve Buchanan. Julian, still off.
Yes.
You know,
I haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
I was talking to him last night. I texted him late at night. Like, I'm being a good friend. Like, I checked in on him multiple times going, how's it going? Do we have a baby update yet? Gives me very short answers. I know we had a bad betting day, so I'm sure that didn't help. And then waiting for the baby is just, like, excruciating.
Right.
Because, you know, like, it's coming. Like, the pending doom and happiness is lingering in the room. So there's a lot going on. But then I texted him before I went to bed, because, again, I'm a good friend. Wanted to see how he's doing. Haven't heard from him since. Like, I know he's got a lot going on. But just, send me something, just an update. If you're listening, why are you listening? But how's it going? Can you just text me and let me know? That's all I want to know.
Sorry. I'm still, yes, he'll tell his wife, sorry, I have to listen to Panel B first. I'll be right back. We'll
He puts it on while she's pushing.
Yeah.
Keep going. You can do it.
Want to get all those bets in. Interesting week we got ahead of us to kind of lay out the land here. Obviously, there's a lot going on. We'll obviously do the show today, which will recap our bets from the past weekend, talk about what stood out to us from Week 12. We'll obviously preview Monday night's game between the Ravens and Rams, talk about the betting angles, talk about the DFS as well. We have a Thanksgiving-themed stack that we'll get to later on, but if the show ends and you're like, man, I want to hear those guys right away again, you're in luck. We'll do the show again tomorrow.
Wow.
Quick turnaround.
Very.
We will break down all of the Thanksgiving games, all of Week 13 at large, and then that one will serve out throughout the rest of the week. Another Thanksgiving stack. Still got to figure out what exactly we'll talk about then, but
we'll get there.
Monday, Tuesday shows, and then through until next Monday. Got something important you got to look at?
No, I was just trying to bring up the box score for my bets, but it was not working, so I got to bring it up on my phone.
Old trusty DK Live, ever reliable on the phone.
Right.
All right. Well, I see a lot of snowflakes there, which probably defines your bets pretty well. So how'd you do on Sunday?
I mean, so the Lions pushed. That was the one I felt like really confident about, was the Lions -3 against the Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they didn't even. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the score backwards.
Timothy taking a selfie with Dwayne Haskins to realize.
Oh, what a dope. What a dope.
Oh,
like,
don't
really.
change the subject. No, he's going to catch a lot of heat for that.
Oh, yeah.
What I don't fully understand is like, yeah, I mean, it's your first win, right? His first win is certainly as a start. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's his first win. Like, you want to be out there taking the victory formation.
Stop. Well, first of all, it's against a backup quarterback with the Lions.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, but you saved that
and
game
you barely squeaked by. Like, it's not like Haskins was good.
They were underdogs. That's an upset win.
But it's not like Haskins was good. He didn't even throw for a touchdown. He had an interception. 156 yards, big whoop.
First win as a quarterback. We don't know how many more he's getting, so he should have been there to savor that.
That's true. But, I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? I mean, it was such a small line to begin with. Like, you couldn't beat the Redskins. They've been so putrid all season long. And then, Jeff Driscoll looking like the backup that he is.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
I think there's good parallels. Like, the Lions are kind of like the Chargers of the NFC, where they're going to play up to opponents or they're going to play down to opponents. They're going to muddy the water. They're going to, against good teams, like they covered against the Chiefs, right? That game where they just, brought the Chiefs down to their level. Well, the Redskins, being at the level below, played up a little bit. And, I mean, again, you were talking about Jeff Driscoll, who... Yeah. I mean, for as well as he had been playing, you knew the other shoe was falling at some point.
But the problem is, too, is that he still did well on the ground. Rushed 9 times for 63 yards. Like, it's been impressive in that aspect. But when they're behind, that's where we've been seeing now that's where they have the trouble. Yeah. Because he's not somebody who's going to, bring that comeback back with his arm.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Again, against the Redskins secondary that's been pretty bad. They're healthy scratching Josh Norman now.
Yeah.
Like, don't even go on the field.
And then they brought him back. He played in the game.
Did he end up coming in?
Yeah. No, it was like 5 minutes before the game started. They said they changed their mind and they
I missed that.
They scratched Colvin instead, and
I
Norman
missed that.
started.
See, the reason I missed that is that every Sunday on all the social media accounts, you can watch the sweat.
Yes.
We do here on DraftKings. So I was a little busy. I was a little preoccupied. I was yelling at Greg Ehrenberg.
Well, had you have known that Norman was playing, would that have totally changed? Oh, well, the Redskins are winning this game.
I actually would have rather Norman play because he stinks.
Yeah.
He's awful.
Yeah.
I think he's allowing like 15.1 yards per reception right now. Like, that's absurd when you think about the player it's associated with Josh Norman.
Yeah.
He's
no,
just been so
name
bad.
value. And we see that, I mean, cornerbacks all the time, like, they have those couple good seasons, then people stop throwing at them.
Yeah.
And then you never realize if they're good or not, and then you start throwing at them again, and they've lost it. But, that was... the Lions wanting to keep it close and the Redskins wanting to keep it close.
Yep.
This was always a possibility, and you talk about whether you win or lose, but even covering 3 points, there was just never going to be the opportunity. Both teams wanted to run the ball. Bo Scarborough had, 15... How many carries did he have?
So we ended up with 18 for
carries,
98.
yeah. I mean, Geis, I know, got a pretty good workload in as well, and you had AP active. So, that game was always going to be a tough one to say a team's going to win by more than a field goal just because there weren't. The over-under on the game was 32.5.
Yeah, it was very small. It was very small.
The Bills, bring it back to the Bills. The Bills don't even usually get over-unders that low.
Right. But the other thing was, too, is how bad the Redskins looked against the Jets.
Right.
By the way, they were favored in that game, the Redskins. Yeah. So now I think about a more competent offense with the Lions. Again, I know Jeff Driscoll isn't this quarterback savior, but he still got guys like Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones. There's guys you can throw to. So this should have been no problem. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it was a problem.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing.
I mean, then if ever there's a time to take a selfie, and then your other bet.
So the Giants +6 against the Bears. Never a doubt. But this one was so tilting as well, because we've all seen how bad the Bears have been playing.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky has just been. Nothing I can say that will stay on the show.
Sure.
It'll just be bleeped out, and that's fine. I understand, families. But then he shows up against the Giants. Yes, they have a very, very poor secondary. Allen Robinson just went absolutely crazy. And that's what's frustrating, because if it was any other quarterback, Allen Robinson would have been the nuts this week. That would have been the guy you would have been targeting because he's in such a good matchup.
I think you just defined Allen Robinson's entire career. Christian Hackenberg in college, right?
Right, sure.
Blake Bortles.
Yep.
And then he comes to Chicago and gets Mitch Trubisky.
But 131 yards on 6 receptions.
Yeah.
That's the game you would have expected.
Yeah.
But with Mitch Trubisky, you just can't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
This was a game, obviously, you could trust him. Now, I don't regret making this because obviously it hit, but the Giants should have won this game.
Sure.
But the turnovers with Daniel Jones is just, and you even brought this up when we talked about it, was the issue. But
yeah, that was the thing that scared me, because I was fine with knowing the Bears couldn't move the ball and score a lot. But if Daniel Jones was going to hand them the ball, and that was one of their touchdowns came because a strip sack and they got tackled at the 2.
Yeah,
and even Trubisky can't mess that up. And I think he ran it in himself. And Saquon, man, he's a little bit better, I guess, but
what a lost season.
For what you're paying or what you invested in him in season long, not good. Not good.
And the other thing is, too, is that, he still got that ball handed to him 17 times. Mm-hmm. Only 59 yards.
Right.
I know that the Bears are...
An improvement over the previous
massive
game.
improvement. I know that the Bears aren't a team that you're looking to run against, but, I mean, man, Saquon Barkley, expect a little bit more of this, but... The other thing for me, too, is that he's not getting the targets.
Yeah.
Which that's what I think is kind of concerning.
Yeah.
For somebody that's so dynamic, can break the tackles, miss tackles, you're not throwing to this guy, especially when you're down. He only ended up with 3 targets last week.
Well,
yesterday.
I don't want to – I brought it up last week. What the worry there was that you have now a quarterback who's chucking the ball. Yeah. And you're not checking it down. He would really benefit if Eli gets a couple more games.
Yes.
At the end of the year, which obviously it would have to be injury related, because performance-wise, they're just going to let Daniel Jones go out there and whatever happens, happens. Real quick on the prop side, though, too. I mean, just because we talked so much about Odell last episode, we'll recap. The prop got set at 67.5. Woefully low. Woefully low. The only, thing that kind of made me nervous.
About.
What's that?
Beckham you're talking about?
Yeah, Odell. was that he wasn't, if they weren't going to need to throw a lot because they got up so quickly,
Right.
but he hit 70 in the first half.
Right.
And I don't think he ended up with the 150, 200 yards that I projected.
No.
Jarvis Landry ended up getting a couple of those touchdowns,
Yep.
whatever. Odell, though, still, he was over by halftime. He was over 67.5. So smash spot for the entire Browns team, and they capitalize.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, Millie Maker had, winning lineup had Baker, Landry, and Nick Chubb.
Yeah. And I think that was actually the smart way to do it because especially with those games where I think the Browns are favored by 10, I think it ended up being. So you get the points from Baker and Landry, which made a lot of sense.
Sure.
Because I think Landry, just the narrative, going against his old team.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
All right.
Because did you see any of the game? Did you watch any of that game?
Not really.
Every time he made a catch, he made sure everybody knew that he just caught the ball.
Sure.
Like the constant taunting, which I love. Like we need more of that.
To be
in the
fair,
game.
he kind of does that in every game, but
This was definitely more, you know, you go back and watch. He was like doing this weird crawling thing like he was in the movie The Ring. Like, you got to watch it. Like, he's doing this weird thing. If he had hair in front of his face, I would have thought it was the girl.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you get the points from Baker and Landry.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has been the primary target in the red zone.
Sure.
Coming into this game, he had a 33% target share in the red zone, which is massive. Beckham was second with 13.
Yeah.
So to me, that made a lot of sense. So you get up with the big points here, then you just run it back with Chubb, who's just going to run the rest of the game if they're up so big.
Yeah, but I mean, look, obviously it was a great upside stack that was going to win you a GPP, and it did. The only thing was, like, I mean, from like if I'm playing a cash game and I'm thinking about this, I get the correlation with Landry and Odell, but Chubb had lost all of the pass work to Kareem Hunt, more or less. Like, he never was a big factor in the pass game, but it certainly didn't help that Kareem Hunt was getting 6 targets a game.
Right.
So, you think about the Dolphins have been keeping things close in recent, their past couple of games, even winning some of them. Like, you really needed, bleep it if you have to, you really needed a shit kicking, like, for this game. Like, because you needed Baker to get those touchdowns early, and then, you needed Chubb to run out the clock the rest of the way, which has ended up what happening. Just hadn't necessarily been playing out like that. I mean, I think the majority of the money was on the Dolphins when we went through those numbers.
I believe you're correct,
covering the 10 points.
Yep.
So if you're playing it that way, then it was one or the other.
Yep.
And this credit to the $1 million richer, because he said, hey, for at least this one lineup, let's go ham here.
Yep. And it was actually funny because Chubb received more targets and had more catches than Hunt. Not by much, but for somebody who came in and was stealing all those targets with Hunt, to see Chubb get that this time around.
And strange again in a game where you're up big.
Right.
The whole game, like,
the Dolphins made it a game late.
They scored a couple times, They got within... because it was 28-3, and everyone got those jokes
it wasn't
out.
the shellacking that it was in the first half, right?
Right, and then I think they scored the next 2. So it was 28-17 maybe.
Yep.
But then 41-24 the final there. Pat Laird, not the great play that everyone jokingly said he was going to be.
I don't know if it was a joke. It was like a half joke. Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Balaj is literally probably one of the worst running backs in the league. Like, his yards per carry is abysmal.
It's under 2.
It's unbelievable. So what did he have last week? So he had 7 for 13.
Yeah.
Get this guy out. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, I know that it's a lost season.
Yeah.
At least see what you have.
Right. And that was a lot of the thought process. And Laird had, like, I think it was like 8 catches in the year. Like, he's a little bit better in the pass game. Like, that was obviously the thought process. It got blown up to the point where I think everyone realized, okay, this guy is really, it's not that viable because Balaj is clearly still getting a lot of carries. I leaned into it because, I mean, we brought it up during the preseason. I covered him in high school. I was a big fan of his. Like, he was great in the preseason. So I was always like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
If anyone tweets at him, you're an idiot. Because, again, it was, 3 for 20?
3 for 20.
Again, like, yards per carry-wise, he's very efficient. So he should be getting – it's not like he got the workload and did nothing with it. He, can only do the opportunity he's given.
Right.
So one day, Laird will be freed at some point.
Well, you know it's going to be this week.
Oh, yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
Because that's how the universe works.
Book it. 50-yard touchdown. It's
so,
coming.
with bets, 1 and 1.
Yep.
I stay consistent. You don't lose money, you don't win money.
You called it with me saying I was going to go 1-1, and I did go 1-1. So I had the Jets, which that felt good about from the moment it happened. Pretty much, that was a shellacking for all 4 quarters.
Good word.
And then I did take the under at 51.5 in the Falcons Buccaneers game, which, hey, we talk about consistency. Shouts out to Jameis Winston again. 0 for 1 interception. Without fail, if they're playing at 1 o'clock and I'm watching the Bills game, like the first crawl will include an interception. It always does. Like within his first 5 pass attempts, he always throws an interception.
Yep.
It was the very first pass attempt this time. But the under was looking good. The under was hitting. It was at 51 into the 2-minute warning, and then a BS late garbage time Matt Schaub touchdown to Calvin Ridley. Pushed it over. So 1-1. Falcons D, maybe not all the way back there because the Buccaneers, it's tough having to pick between Godwin and Evans each week. This week it was Godwin, so I guess that means you go to Evans this upcoming week because it's just so hard between those two.
Well, the price difference is pretty extreme now. Yeah. Those guys have been pretty consistent in the price-wise. Like Godwin was 72 last week. Evans was 73. Godwin is now 7,700 for this week. Evans has fallen down to 6,900.
Sure.
So now we got a little bit of a gap in between them because that's what used to make them so hard too. Is that they were basically the same price point.
Yep.
So it's like flip a coin and which one do you want to take?
Yeah.
So now we have a little bit of differentiation in the salary. So they'll make an interesting.
But you know who you want to take on the Buccaneers this week? Ronald Jones, because they're playing the Jaguars, one of the biggest funnels in the league.
Yeah,
a team that literally only wants you to run the ball and can't stop you when you run the ball. So
ask Derrick Henry.
Yep. Ronald Jones heard it here. He's winning someone $1 million this week.
Wow. Okay, that's not going to make the rest of the lineup there, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we'll see.
You got your free space.
You got your free square.
Anything else before?
How about Julian's? We gave him a win.
Did we really?
That idiot. See, I told you this. I told you this.
Yeah.
We gave him the money, the big money. What's it called? Big money parlay.
Heavy money line parlay.
I told you we should sabotage it and put a big underdog, and you said no. So now we just gave him another win.
Yep. I'm trying.
We can't even pick wrong for him.
I don't know if we're actually going to give him that win on the scorecard. We'll have to.
Slice gave it to him.
Oh, wow.
Producer Matt gave it to him.
Well, a gift.
Show yourself, you coward. Get on the screen. He's probably not even listening.
Sleeping.
Wave to the audience. There he is. Look at that coward. He updated the rankings and he's up there. Unbelievable.
Wow. Well, we'll each take half a win as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, put half a point for each of us.
So, yeah, well. It needed a Panthers kicker to miss what was an old extra point, pretty much. Right. Like a 28-yard chip shot he had to miss.
And I think he missed 3 extra points before that.
Yep. Or he missed 2 extra points before that, yeah. Shouts out to DJ Moore winning me a couple fantasy season longs this week.
Man, I love DJ Moore. Like, I don't get a lot of jerseys. I don't get a lot of shirts. He's asking for it.
Wow.
He's winning me some money.
Yeah. He's been excellent. It helped getting the Curtis Samuel hype this offseason, which good player also. Like he's certainly improving upon, what he was the last year, but so many people were so big on Curtis Samuel that it wasn't, extreme cases, some people are even saying taking him over Moore, but Moore was just falling or at least staying the same. And because of everything that obviously CMC garners and things like that, he really kind of fell under the radar for a guy who everyone was hyped on as a rookie.
Sure.
It wasn't great in the first half, really came on in the second half, though, and has been, solid, if not great.
I just thought it was interesting that they actually had him rush the ball 4 times in that game. They had 40 yards, which actually was the majority of his fantasy production.
Because of that offense, and you think back to, who was originally quarterbacking it, like they have a lot of those trickery-type end-arounds and stuff that they run.
Yep.
And they've kept a lot of that in there, and held fast against the Saints team that ekes out a win. and is still obviously very talented. We'll have to see how that shakes out, though.
But 4 for 40. I mean, he could step right into the Dolphins' backfield, be the RB1 with the numbers like that.
Well, no, I mean, you still got to pencil in Balash for his 8 to 10 carries, and then after that, you know,
yards.
if there's a couple to go around, they're not already losing by 40, and Fitzpatrick has to throw the ball a ton. Maybe they can eke it out. So we have that win by the Saints.
Yeah.
The 49ers take the Packers to the woodshed there.
Yep.
We'll see the Ravens and Rams tonight. Like,
Yep.
if you're power ranking here, the top 3 teams in the league,
Yep.
where are you going?
I feel like it's tough because, like,
Well, I wasn't going to give you an easy question.
so, like, if we're thinking about the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Like, should they be number 1 though? Because that offense just looks so poor.
No, they shouldn't be number 1.
But they keep suppressing all the scoring from the other team, so they're just winning these tight games, but they're still winning. You know, so I guess they're number 1. And that's like a number 1.5 because, like, I'm not sold on that.
1A. Is 1B going to be the team that actually beat them and ran all over them?
Well, that's the thing. Ravens, I would probably put number 2.
Yeah.
Just because we haven't seen them this week. Like, if they outright shellac the Rams, we're using that too much now. You know what it was? That was on my Amazon show this morning.
It was.
So that was my word,
Yeah.
so I've been using it. Sorry. If they just go out and just oust the Rams, then I think they would maybe put them at number 1. But I think it's close between the two of them. Saints are probably number 3 for me at this point.
Saints the best NFC team over the 49ers, you think?
The only thing about the 49ers is that they have some issues defensively right now. Like, they're missing a couple linebackers. We didn't really see it last night with the Packers, but I think that could end up being a problem moving forward because you look at their schedule. They're going after a couple of heavy run-heavy teams.
Yeah, they get
over
the
next
Ravens.
few weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how they look there. So for now, from what we have, I think it's Patriots-Ravens right there. You could easily interchange them, and then Saints up at 3.
I would go Ravens. Yeah, Ravens, Saints, then I guess. I guess the Patriots at 3 because of the defense. And because in all likelihood they're going to be at home, and I do think that.
Oh yeah,
I do think that makes a difference for them. And it's not to knock the 49ers will be 4th. They do so many things well that Garoppolo isn't forced to do much.
Well, that's the other thing too.
But when he is, it's just tough sometimes. He did it against the Cardinals, which like whoop-de-doo, but then didn't in other, like the Seahawks game, like Russell Wilson was the better quarterback.
They're doing an excellent job of masking Garoppolo.
If they're healthy, I might even take them in the dome against the Saints if they're healthy.
49ers?
Yeah.
That'd be a good
Both
game.
of those teams are really I guess evenly matched because they're all so evenly dispersed in terms of talent. I think they're both very strong defensively. I think the 49ers have so many different ways he can beat you. I mean, Kittle is an absolute monster, and I really hope that ankle holds up. Yeah. Come playoffs, and they're not, they're certainly helping me fantasy-wise, but, like, I mean, if the guy's going to only hurt it more before the playoffs, like, rest him now. Yeah. Please.
But see, you say that the 49ers have a number of ways to compete you. You could definitely say the same thing about the Saints.
Sure, of course.
Too. You know what I mean? And I feel like the Saints offense is better than the 49ers offense.
I think those two teams play, and, when we try to handicap tight games, we have two talented teams playing each other. What makes it difficult is either of these teams could win 19-16 or they could win 45-42.
Yep.
And I think that's, what's going to make that hopefully eventual matchup so exciting.
And for me, it's like I think about, let's say there's a 2-minute drill at the end. Who is going to come out, Breeze or Garoppolo?
Right.
It's Breeze every time.
It is, but then it's like, okay, you can sell out to stop Kamara and
but
Thomas.
then you got to deal with Thomas.
Yeah, that'll be tough. And then on the 49ers side, I mean, that's why they got Emmanuel Sanders to give him that other blanket. We don't need to get 40 yards every play, but we need 15. Like, he's such a good route runner that it'll be fun. But let's talk about a matchup that's actually happening.
Okay. I'm gonna open my drink. I'm a little parched. So
okay.
You're gonna hear a noise.
You open your drink. I'll lay out the situation here. We got Ravens at the Rams. Ravens 3.5-point favorites on the road. Over under is 47.5. On the money line, it is Ravens minus 182. It is Rams plus 160. Jared Goff kind of becoming the new Ben Roethlisberger when you talk about home road splits. He's not as prolific at home as Ben Roethlisberger is, but he's awful on the road. And if this game was in Baltimore, we wouldn't give them a flying chance. They are at home, though. We have to see what the situation is with Robert Woods. They've been very hush-hush about it. Yeah. Just some personal matter that he's been away from the team with. Really don't know if he's going to play in this game. So however much when you talk about a Ravens team that has now 3 legit cornerbacks, you need as many weapons as possible. So it would really help the Rams if Robert Woods is able to play. You're talking about a Rams defense that, certainly their strength is in the middle there. So what can that do against an offense that wants to run the ball and control tempo with Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram? So I guess I'll just say there are avenues certainly for the Rams, enough so that I might like the hook here, given that it's 3.5. How do you look at this game?
So the biggest thing for me is that, and we just saw it when the Rams faced the Steelers, how bad Jared Goff looked. Right. And it's no surprise that the Steelers are one of the best pass rushing teams in the league. When Jared Goff is under pressure, the dude can't do anything.
Yeah.
He turns into an absolute puddle. Mm-hmm. The Ravens don't have that. They don't have the pass rushing abilities that the Steelers have, or really any of them. And quite frankly, they're one of the worst in the league. And then on the other side, too, the Rams have a very good pass rusher going against Lamar Jackson. The problem is Lamar Jackson has been very good under pressure.
Yeah.
So to me, of course, it's a factor, but it's not as big as a factor when someone like Goff faces that. I just don't see enough from the Rams that they can just stop this offense. Mm-hmm. We talk about number of ways that a team can beat you. The Ravens have legitimately 3 or 4 options. Mark Andrews hasn't been the guy we saw at the beginning of the season, but the Rams are poor against tight ends. Mm-hmm. Marquise Brown can get down the field. They don't really have those shutdown corners with the Rams. We've seen hints here and there, but they've been very, very inconsistent. Yeah. Mark Ingram is another factor. And then Lamar Jackson himself.
Yeah.
There's just so many ways where I can't rely on Goff to win a game at this point.
Sure. I would say the Ravens' weakness is going to be, and I mean it makes sense given their philosophy, is going to be if they fall behind early.
Yes.
And we kind of saw that with the Chiefs game back in the beginning of the season. The issue is they're so good at adding wrinkles to that offense each week that you're preparing for it.
Yep.
But then the first couple drives, they're throwing things out there that you really haven't seen yet.
Yep.
And it's helping them stay afloat early, and they're never going to fall behind big. The defense, much improved. We talk about, Marcus Peters coming on board. Earl Thomas is there this year. And the Ravens defense always being good. That wasn't necessarily the case as much last year and early this year, but they are improved now.
Yep.
So it's just hard to find an avenue where they fall behind early. It's just basically, can the Rams keep up?
Right.
And I get the point. I would probably look more like they're at home. I think I like the over in this game, though, too.
I agree.
Over 47.5. I think because of what the Ravens do, they're going to continuously put up points.
Right.
And, Lamar Jackson's just never going to be in a spot like he was in that Chargers playoff game last year. And, to be honest, I think he'd handle himself better than he did in that game, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, I just listed the Ravens number 1 in a power ranking, so suffice to say I like them in this game. I can see avenues to the Rams covering at least.
I mean, let's not take away from how many points the Ravens have been putting up.
Right.
You look at their last 4 games: Seahawks, Patriots, Bengals, Texans. 30, 37, 49, 41.
Yeah.
They're just clicking right now. And to me, if you're going to put 37 points against the Patriots, who, kind of fixed it up over the past couple of weeks since that game where they just were pretty much embarrassed. But this is a much weaker Rams defense compared to someone like the Patriots.
Yeah.
So if they can do that to the Patriots, they should easily be able to do this to the Rams.
I don't think that game was an indictment of the Patriots defense at all.
No.
I think that game was showing, just how well that offense is being tailored toward their talent.
Yep.
And they got I know we've said it before, but they got the right offensive coordinator, they got the right personnel, and they're just running the ball down people's throats. And then still, that Marquise Brown was the perfect pick. I think everyone thought they reached in the first round for a guy who was hurt and undersized, and maybe at the end of the day that's the case. But he's doing exactly what you need him to do.
Yep.
And everyone else is just committed to blocking. Mark Andrews, we'll see. He's had some issues with drops, but he's going to continuously get, because that's the guy who can fake block, for 2 seconds and then leak out. And he's always going to be open because the teams have to commit and sell out to stop the run.
So I think it's going to be a very good game. I do agree with you. I think if there was anything I felt most confident about, the over, most likely, because, let's just throw 30 points there for the Ravens. I think the Rams could get 18 points out of this game to hit the over in this one here. So I feel pretty good about that. 182 on the money line for the Ravens feels a bit low.
Yeah.
I feel like that could easily be 200 more or more. Like, we're not talking about a huge difference here, but 182 for a Ravens team that, again, has put up 30-plus points in the past 4 weeks against good teams for the most part. I feel like that's a little short.
Yeah, if you're calling a game close about sheer who's going to win, play the special teams battle here, play the kicking game, and obviously the Ravens are going to win out there.
Yep. So I think there's a lot to like there.
Showdown. Lamar Jackson is the most expensive by a mile, $13,600. Talking flex prices here. Flex, $13,600 for Lamar. Ingram, $10,200. You really, really struggle if you're going to captain Lamar Jackson. He's over $20,000.
I can't confirm this, but I think that's the highest captain's price we've seen all season.
Right.
I don't know for sure, but I don't even know who would have surpassed that.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like Patrick Mahomes when the season first began.
Yeah.
But I don't even think he was that high.
You're just not, because even when Mahomes was clicking, you're talking early last year, he had Kareem Hunt too.
Yep.
Like, you couldn't find a way to all of the Chiefs touchdowns in that regard. The Ravens, you still can't necessarily find your way to all of them because Ingram, who is the next most expensive player, gets his share as well. But with Lamar, as close to peak Cam Newton as you can get to talking about covering all of your team's touchdowns with his rushing ability. So you go Ingram, then Kupp, then Andrews, Gurley, then you finally get to Jared Goff, 8,400 in flex. So who would you captain here, I don't want to take Lamar Jackson out of the equation if you feel strongly about it, put him in there, but that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, and this is an interesting slate because I feel like we have a lot of options that we can captain, but I don't feel like really any of them goes over another. After Jackson, by far he's the one to captain, but it cripples the rest of your lineup.
Yeah,
I'm kind of leaning towards Brown just because of the big playability. Yeah, I feel like that's something that, again, we talk about the captain spot, how you get 1.5 points, putting him there. Brown is that perfect guy that if he gets one of those long receptions and a touchdown, you're good. You're golden in that spot there. Robert Woods is another one there. I'm sorry, not Robert Woods.
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is the other one that you maybe consider. Obviously, the injury concern is legitimate.
Yeah.
This guy's already had multiple concussions this year, but if we don't end up seeing Robert Woods in this game, Cooks now kind of steps into that role because the problem with Cooper Kupp is that it's just been so wildly inconsistent. He went from 4 targets, no receptions against the Steelers. Then against the Bears, only 3 targets, 3 receptions for 53 yards.
Yeah.
But his price is still so high.
Yeah.
This is someone who easily should be down 2,000-3,000 more from where he is right now.
Some of that's probably playing into the injury. The risk with Cooks, Woods, we just don't know. He's not listed on the injury report, but he doesn't have to be because it's it's a personal matter. We really don't know.
Yeah.
And Sean McVay was very non-committal about whether or not he's going to be available.
If he's active though, Woods, I think he's a perfect captain if you want to go lower down at wide receiver if you want to take a Ram. I think he's a perfect spot there. 10,500. He's getting a ton of targets. He got 11 last week.
Or is it Gurley? 8,800 for a flex, but
right.
It's funny. You talk about the Rams who were in the Super Bowl last year, have this offensive genius. Their best philosophy might be keeping the Ravens off the field.
Yeah,
running the ball, trying to play maybe a little bit more like the Ravens, where you're not just putting up a bunch of points because your defense is going to get worn down if you let the Ravens take hold the ball 60% of the time.
Okay, so just looking into the Ravens numbers real quick, I actually didn't realize 122 yards to the Bengals 2 weeks ago, 110 to the Texans last week.
Well, to the Bengals because they're going to run Joe Mixon when they're down 50 no matter what. Like,
right. That guy can't be scripted out all of a sudden. Yeah. Gurley has just been so massively inconsistent that.
Right.
But he has a touchdown equity.
Yeah.
You know, if they're in the red zone, they're running the ball, it's going to be Gurley.
But you're not paying what you were paying for Gurley last year when he all of a sudden ghost town.
Right.
You know, in showdown contests, you're talking about playoff showdown, where all of a sudden, you know, Gurley was untouchable because the price hadn't adapted to the fact that they wanted to sign fat C.J. Anderson and have him to carry all the work.
I could be swayed. Into Gurley.
Yeah. My other thought is just Ravens DST 50. Down to 56. Like, how many of these primetime games have we talked about? And it's just been the defense every time. And you know, I thought it was going to be the Packers last night. It was the flip side there, but it was again another DST going ham.
So I will say that Goff's game is pretty clean when he's not under pressure, and this is not a team that's going to give him a lot of pressure. So that would be my only hesitation. But if you want to jam in like guys like Jackson and Ingram or Kupp, like that's a path to do it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that's a cash game viable play. That's more of a large field tournament, putting the Ravens defense in the captain spot. But I've definitely done it before this season, putting defenses
believe me
at the
again,
captain
because
spot.
you're scripting a shit kicking there. Again, with the Ravens DST, Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and then Cooper Kupp. I get it, like because they're gonna have to throw because they're gonna be behind.
Yep.
Sorry, producer Matt. This is the hardest you've had to work in some time.
Well, you know what the great thing is? Since we're doing a podcast tomorrow, we can talk about the results right away. Knee-jerk reactions.
That's right. It's going to be freaking Tucker and Zerline are going to be in the winning lineup. All right,
so I have some breaking news.
Okay.
Julian did have his baby.
Julian had his baby.
He said, finally born this morning. That was a grind and disgusting. Welcome to parenthood, baby. We are here.
That was a grind. He's already using past tense. It's only just begun, son.
Right. You have no idea. This is now the rest of your life.
Wow.
The sentence has been given down.
Congratulations to young Julian Edlow. Yep. We'll get the measurables soon. We'll get his combine time, his spark score, and we will pass that along.
See if he has any betting advice.
Yeah.
For old dad.
No, we'll hand some more out to both of them.
Yeah.
Because we're on a heater now with his picks.
See, it would have been funny if the baby came tomorrow, because that would have also been my birthday. We would have shared a birthday. That actually would have been quite amusing.
And this is the look on Alex's face when he realizes, all right, well, we're doing a show on Steve's birthday. Now I know. I totally knew that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I expected, balloons and...
So we should really buck the trend. So we're going to do a Thanksgiving stack here. We should do a birthday trend stack tomorrow. Everyone's going to think another Thanksgiving one.
There you go. Locked it in.
Look at that. You guys get a little behind-the-scenes action there. Anything else on this game, though? Anything else you're looking at? Props? Anything else that you think?
I haven't actually dived into the props, but I will say whatever Lamar Jackson's rushing is, just take the over.
Yeah.
It's come to that point, which is wild because he's consistently hitting him. Other than the 2 weeks ago when the Ravens took Lamar Jackson out for – who's their backup? I don't even know off the top of my head now.
For the
Ravens.
Is it Trace McSorley or is he –
Is it McSorley? Whoever it was. But
oh, no, it's RG3.
Oh, yeah. But
because they had the Heisman formation.
They took him out. Whatever the rushing prop was, Julian was off by half.
Right.
So that was
you brought that up.
that was amazing.
I like the over
70.5.
Yeah. Total successful field goals is at 3.5.
Oh, you can't bet stuff like that.
There's plus money, plus 123 on over 3.5.
What read do you have on that?
That Justin Tucker's really good, so they would settle for field goals.
Though. Just straight field goals.
Yeah.
What's the number? 3.5?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That is a lot.
They got there's two really good kickers. They could, if it's a low scoring, settle for field goals.
Who's the Rams? Zerline? Yeah.
Greg the Leg.
Right.
I don't know.
But then again, Sly was a good kicker coming into yesterday, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, can't handle the pressure.
Yeah, barely.
All right, you want to get to our stack?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so in discussions about Thanksgiving, we both realized we don't really like Thanksgiving that much.
I hate Thanksgiving.
All right, Steve hates it. I don't hate it. It's just not it's not that big for me. So we will do the worst Thanksgiving stack.
Yep.
So the categories are the worst person at Thanksgiving, the worst tradition of Thanksgiving,
Yep.
the worst food of Thanksgiving, and then, of course, a flex.
Yes.
So let's go first, take me through your daily, you don't have to go hour by hour, but generally, what is a Thanksgiving for you?
So me and all my high school buddies actually meet up at 8 a.m. and we play football.
Wow.
Yeah. Last year was miserable because it was -5 degrees. The wind chill was -75.
But tradition.
But with tradition, we still went out there and did it. We were so miserable. The first tackle that happened, we were all just this is an awful idea.
Two-hand touch.
Right. So we went from a full game to a quarter.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. The beers are flowing. Mm-hmm. The beers are going. Then usually after that, I usually have to work on DK Live. It's happened 4 years in a row. So there's that.
Yeah.
And then we eat.
Well, we'll be working together.
Oh, are you on Thanksgiving? Yeah. All right, let's go. Panel B.
I'm taking the lumps. I'm letting everyone else have the day off. And
thanks.
I'm on the 8 to 5.
Yeah,
as far as the editors go.
I was going to ask you about Christmas, but anyways. And then we eat. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes my birthday is on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And it's awful. Because, we'll get to that in a minute. But so we'll stop it there.
Okay.
All right. So that's mine.
Okay. All right, then let's get to your stack then.
You're not going to tell us about it.
Okay, well, mine changes a lot as you move out. So as a kid, it was waking up early to deliver newspapers because I had a paper route. And I had taken on another paper route, so I had 180 newspapers I had to deliver. It was miserable.
What?
Yeah. And then wanting to just lay and watch the parade and, the dog show, whatever.
Yeah.
But having to, we always hosted, so there was this, cleaning to the degree that, we're, feeling like Downton Abbey helpers here,
Yes.
that we had to clean. And just always constantly cleaning or helping my mom make stuffing, which was rolling 15 loaves of bread, just breaking it down. So that's what you spend your time doing. And then it was great. The family came over, you watched some football. We always played Trivial Pursuit, guys versus girls. Fun game,
Trivial Pursuit.
Fun board game. And now it's just it's a little different. We're always we've moved around a lot. There's a lot going on. So. There's just not as much going on, so it's not like I dislike it. It's just not, it is what it is. But I will also be working DK Live, so we'll be spending Thanksgiving together. How nice!
There it is. Didn't expect that one, but there it is. All right, so first category is person.
Yes.
I can't stand when somebody comes in and they bring this BS dish. And then they keep pushing it on everybody.
Is that Brussels sprouts?
No, well, specifically green bean casserole.
Oh, you're not a fan?
What? Green bean casserole.
Right.
You hear that name and you go, that sounds very appetizing. Because it's not. So they'll come in, they have this Betty Crocker plate.
You got to get the fried onions on top.
Yep. I'll have the onions. That's fine. I'll eat I'll take the onions off. But then, all throughout the dinner, they'll notice that I don't have their stupid green bean casserole on my plate. And they'll be like, you going to try the green bean casserole later? No! I don't want the green bean casserole. Stop pushing it on me. I have the foods that I like, which there aren't many because Thanksgiving is BS. And this is what I'm going to eat. I'm not going to go appease you and have your green bean casserole because out of everything you could have made, you landed on green bean casserole.
Because your green bean casserole tastes the same as everyone else's because everyone just follows the back of the French onion recipe anyways.
No,
it doesn't
no
taste
thinking
different.
outside the box.
Yeah.
Can we get some better foods? Why does it have to be the same things?
Yeah.
Can't we get creative here? I don't know, make onion casserole. Just do the onions you put on top and make it into a casserole.
Is there a different food coming, or is your person in food?
Well,
the person is the vehicle who brings the food, which is the worst.
We'll get there. Don't worry. All right. So tradition.
Yeah.
I don't want to give thanks.
Ouch.
Tell us.
Sorry, kids.
Tell us.
I'm not thankful for you.
But. Tell us what you're thankful for. And it's always the same answers. Oh, I'm so thankful to be here with my family. No, you're not, because in 10 minutes you can't stand each other, and you can't wait to leave. You know what I'm thankful for? Well, my birthday's not on Thanksgiving, because then I don't have to deal with all that stuff, too.
So you're
very selfish.
Your
I
worst
know.
tradition is the very foundation upon which...
I don't want to give thanks. I don't want to give thanks. I don't want to go around, have like this, wedding vows thing prepared and say all the things I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Just eat. Like, we're all there for a meal. I don't want to have to do a homework assignment before dinner. That's all.
You already had to write your vows once. You don't want to have to do that again.
And I'm not even married.
Yeah.
Food, turkey. Get out.
Wow.
Turkey. I don't care. You know what I want? Ham. Give me ham.
Are you having that for Christmas?
Yes. Why can't we do it twice? Nothing is better than a nice honey glazed ham for a meal. I'll maybe even eat your dumb green bean casserole if you give me the ham.
If Thanksgiving fell on your birthday, did you at least get to get a ham on your birthday?
No.
Wow.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I can't even get what I want on my birthday. I'm not selfish. I'm not some diva. Would it kill you to go out into Market Basket and get me a couple slices of ham and appease me? It is my birthday. Throw some candles on.
So you don't even need the full glazed ham. You're talking deli, like.
Yeah. I would prefer the ham.
Yeah.
But the turkey's so big and obnoxious that it takes up the whole oven, so we can't bake both. I don't like turkey. I don't care about turkey.
All right. Well, I'll make sure I get you a ham Lunchables for your birthday tomorrow that you can eat during the show, so you can have
Make
some
sure it's
ham.
honey glazed though.
Oh,
honey glaze is a big difference. And if it's not honey
I don't think
glaze,
Oscar Mayer is splurging for the honey glaze on their Lunchable ham.
Listen. If it's not honey glaze,
I can't even tell you with certainty it's a pig.
Go down. That's very true. Go down a couple aisles, get some honey, put the glaze stuff in it, and just throw it on there. Just do
Get
it
the
yourself.
little bear and just
Yeah.
go to McDonald's.
So turkey, I have no use for turkey.
Wow.
Yep. See, you were shocked by this. Like I have a
I'm-
lot of shock. I told you I didn't like Thanksgiving.
I'm learning.
There's nothing to like.
You,
Flex.
you and Adam Levitan would get along very well.
Oh, I'll have to hit him up. Yeah. Flex. Stop giving me peas.
Peas.
Peas are the worst food ever.
I can't say peas fall in a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Corn is usually what I say.
Well, talk to my family. They always bring up peas. So we got green bean casserole. We got green bean casserole, peas, turkey. There's nothing I like. I don't like Thanksgiving. Look at all these things that I have to deal with.
You really don't like a lot of green foods also.
Dude, you look at me? Do I look like a guy who's I'll take broccoli.
Just give him double the ham. Give him a can of Spam.
Ham, broccoli, mashed potatoes, and give me a beer. That's all I want. That's all I want. But no, we got to stick with the
And
traditions.
none of this craft beer BS, I'm sure.
Nah, I don't care about craft beers. I'm not all fancy.
Yeah.
Just give me a beer.
You're not sipping a nice IPA right before your football game?
No. So I don't like turkey. I don't like giving thanks.
The weather should be pretty nice this year. Are you going to have a good football game?
Yeah, I hope so.
What are your stats? What would your DK salary be in this game?
Oh, I'm definitely captain
You're
worthy.
captain worthy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because you get the passing and rushing, some tackles
Passing,
as well.
rushing, breaking tackles, leaping over guys.
I wish they brought the IDP back. They had it initially with Showdown. You could draft defenders. That was fun.
Was it really?
Was it fun? I mean,
No. That was an option?
Yeah. When they're the Super Bowl, it was the Eagles. The Eagles.
Oh,
Patriots Super Bowl.
yeah. That's right. Well, good thing we work for DK. We can tell somebody.
They don't listen to me.
They don't listen to me either.
Especially an outgoing person.
Get him get a haircut.
All right, let's run through this stack here. Worst person. I put me.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
very
good
nice.
to be around on Thanksgiving.
Why?
Well, again, I'm going more toward back in the day because I did not want to do anything that helped out. We're hosting, 15 people, and I just wanted nothing to do with anything. Able-bodied, teenage boy just wanted to.
That's why you're working 8 to 5 tomorrow on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I don't have to clean the bathroom because that'll mold right into my tradition, which was the clean. And again. They're still our family. They're supposed to love us no matter what. So why does it matter if behind the toilet is you could eat breakfast on it?
What a great.
I always got the bathroom too. That was always
good.
my thing. I didn't get to vacuum. I got bathroom duty every time.
Yeah.
And
That's a great
maybe because
point.
I always made the biggest mess. I don't know, but so I always was in the bleach in the bathroom and just wanted nothing to do with it. I'm like, hey, we're giving thanks. Is this what Thanksgiving's all about?
Right.
No.
Not at
we
all.
should spend more time just as family.
I don't care if Aunt Lally doesn't like how the bathroom looks. You know what I mean? You don't like it? Get down there and scrub it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You make
Thanksgiving.
green bean casserole. You can obviously do other things.
Yep. You didn't have to. It doesn't take that long. You
Right.
mix it all together. You put it in the oven. You got plenty of time.
Lazy on
Food for
salad.
me, stuffing. Hated stuffing.
Yeah.
Continue to hate stuffing. What is the point of stuffing?
To bother people.
It's empty carbs. It doesn't taste good.
It doesn't
It's
at
just
all.
little bread.
Yep.
It just exists to fill the plate, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, I've gotten into Brussels sprouts now with bacon, pomegranate seeds. It's very good.
Pomegranate seeds.
I gave the recipe. It's good. Well, you got to have a little bit of fruit.
Where do the pomegranate seeds come from?
I don't know. Someone put them in once, and we kept up with it.
Little
Thanksgiving, you're going to have 7 different courses, 7 different sides. You might as well think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, I get. I wish that would happen more.
Yeah, I'm starting to get more into sweet potatoes. Like, I can dig it.
That's fine.
Fine. But trust me, like, if we were doing best Thanksgiving, and we're not because you hate it so much, but like the day after or the in meal, you take the dinner roll, turkey, mashed potato, gravy, and
like
corn,
gravy.
and it's a sandwich, and you eat it like that.
I don't like gravy.
You don't like gravy?
No.
How dry is your meal? Your meal has to be so dry.
I put salt on it.
This is why you don't like Thanksgiving. You're just not doing it properly.
Because it's nothing proper to do because it's all dumb.
You need a gravy. You need a sauce to bring it all together.
Barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, cheese, 3-way roast beef. I'll take that instead.
All of a sudden, I was gonna say, sir, this is an Arby's, but that's actually the perfect order for it. So, all right. My flex for the worst things about Thanksgiving: the Lions and the Cowboys. Why is it these teams?
I know.
The Lions suck every year. They never play a good game. When was the last good Thanksgiving game?
That game when Calvin Johnson went for like 150 yards.
And they probably lost by 30.
They probably did.
The Lions suck.
Always sticks in my mind.
So I never want to watch a Lions game.
Yeah, right.
And the Cowboys, who wants to root for? You never want to root for them.
Right. And I think it's Lions and Bears.
It is.
Oh, it's even worse. Who are the Cowboys playing? I don't even know.
They play the Bills.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be another Super Bowl extravaganza. We'll get into the games tomorrow when we get back. But again, like, you never wanted to watch it because it was always Pat Summerall and John Madden, who are the biggest Cowboy homers in the world.
Right.
Now they're probably going to have their old quarterback calling the game, so you're going to have to put up with that again. Like, I never wanted to watch those. I love football, obviously.
Right.
Always want to watch it. Always great to have, like, fantasy, skin in the game.
Yep.
Don't worry, DraftKings. I'll still toe the company line there. But these teams are terrible.
Yeah, it's an awful Thanksgiving. I didn't even know what the games were.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked yet.
And now they're adding, they started adding the night game, which usually the plan is like, just give me a good game. And this year it's Falcons Saints, which it was last year, even though the Falcons were terrible and they still played a good game.
Yeah.
They'll probably play a good game this year again, and that's fine. But to me, like, night football is not Thanksgiving football. Like, I needed those two early games. So. And the teams have just always been so terrible.
Yep.
So
we got to break these games down tomorrow. Oh. Happy birthday.
Tune in tomorrow, folks, when we give you everything you need to know. Yeah, Cowboys 7-point favorites despite losing to the Patriots and the Bills winning. But that is that. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, that field goal.
That was ridiculous.
That was terrible. We'll talk about that. Well, I mean, that was yesterday, so we can talk about it if you want. Jason Garrett, how does he still have a job?
Jerry Jones.
He's got some photos or something.
Well, Jerry Jones, this is like the first time we've actually heard him like publicly shame him.
Yeah.
Like he's always come to his
more
defense.
the special teams coach, but yeah.
but Jerry Jones has always been like his biggest backer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he was quick, though. Ed Werder already has the report out from sources, which if it's Ed Werder, it's Jerry Jones, saying Jason Garrett's not in trouble.
Well, the biggest thing is that his contract's at the end of the year. This is it. Forget. So, well, we think.
Yeah.
But a little telling on the timing, I feel like.
I don't know. They're going to win the division at 9-7. Maybe play a tight game that ends in controversy in the playoffs, and then it's going to be like, well, we really like what we got.
But how many times can you tout that? Well, we won the division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
when the division is crap every year,
right?
Except for Nick Foles.
Right.
When Nick Foles isn't in the division's terrible.
Right. But it really came down. The game came down to coaching.
Right.
Really, at the end of the day, it really came down to coaching because it was a low-scoring game.
Yep.
Defense on both sides.
Everyone's playing with the same weather elements.
Yep. Weather. Yep. Can't do that during football.
You're not moving the ball at all. Barely moving the ball. You get to what? It was the 11-yard line, I think it was.
Close. It was close.
And it wasn't even 4th and goal. It was like 4th and 6 or 4th and 7. Like
was it third down? They did that?
What?
Did they take the field goal at third down? Or was it fourth down?
Are we talking about? No, they got to 4th down, I thought. I don't know. Regardless, that's obviously then even worse.
Yeah.
And you're down by a touchdown.
Yep.
To kick that field goal, and then I mean, the tripping call at the end though was BS. I'll give you that as well.
Yep.
But again, you can't.
I thought I saw online that there's been one call the entire season. There was 2 in that game.
Right. No, it wasn't just one. There was more, but I think it was only once before that it happened twice in one game, and then it happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yep, you got it. You got it. That's right.
But I think someone else. It's a good point when you're playing close games. Like you subject yourself to this, and you're always playing a close game.
Yep.
When they always seem to be in those close games. So, again, I'll just say the Lions and Cowboys, get me new teams on Thanksgiving.
What an awful.
Why does it need to be these 2 teams?
Of all the teams,
yeah,
give me something else. Like we could easily swap in a couple of these games. Give me Packers and Giants. I'll take that over.
Flex all of Thanksgiving.
Give me Rams and Cardinals.
Yes.
Give me Chiefs and Raiders. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, of course, that the odds and lines are subject to change. Please see website for actual odds. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and would like some help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Thanksgiving stinks.
Pretty much all you needed to take away from this. But we will be back tomorrow to tell you how you can bet on Thanksgiving, hopefully make it a little bit more enjoyable.
You have to.
Julian's not here to give his picks, so you're only getting good ones.
Oh!
That said, congratulations, Mr. Edlow, on
Good
welcoming
job, Dad.
a new one into the world. Was a grind.
And disgusting.
And it's over. Yeah. It's smooth sailing from here on out.
He thinks it's disgusting now.
Yeah. For more on that, watch our Wednesday show last week where we dive into the nitty-gritty details of parenthood. For Steve Buchanan.
Hi.
For Alex Jankowski. Not for Alex Jankowski. I am.
You are.
Alex Jankowski.
We have
for Panel B, for DraftKings, for all of us. For Producer Matt 2. There's 2 Matts in there, I think.
Just one.
Nope, Jay.
Look how happy he is.
There's Matt. Folks, we'll see you next time.